Okay, so this is the next video in our continuation of our AWS series. So in the last video, what we have seen, how to create the image. So what is image? Like whenever we spin up any EC2 instance, we need some base image, right? So right now in all the videos, we are using their inbuilt image, Major Linux image, and we are spinning the EC2 instance. Then we see if we have to create our own image. What is meant by own image? We will use the base image plus we will install few software which we required, and then we will create the image. So how to create that image? We see the manual process. So we have loaned the EC2 instance using some image. We installed some softwares, whatever we need, maybe Apache software or any software, Java, AWS, CLI, any software what we need, we have installed that. We can install either using the boot up by giving the user data script, or maybe like by logging into the SSH EC2 instance, and then we can install some software. So once the EC2 has been like all the software get installed, so what we did is like we stopped our EC2 instance, then we right click on the EC2 instance and then create the image. So once the image has been created, we can share that image to the another regions as well. Basically we can copy that image, we can spin up the another EC2 instance using that particular image. So all these process are basically manual process which we did in the last videos. But there is a one more service which is provided by the EC2. So in the search bar, if you search EC2, so you could say EC2 and the EC2 Image Builder. So EC2, sorry, EC2 Image Builder is like a service to build the image, but as an automatic process. So what is mean by the automatic process? Right now, what we are doing, we are launching the EC2 instance manually. We are installing the softwares manually. Then we are stopping the instance manually. We are copying the image to the another regions if we want manually. So everything is like we are doing manually. Then we are creating another instance to test that image, that is also manually. So all the installs are manually. Even there are like various like limitations. Let's suppose if there is a patches upgrade, and we know that on the start of the every month there is a patch upgrade, then we have to follow all the same steps again to create our new image because there are new patches upgrade. So there are few limitations in our manual process. But in the EC2 image builder, all these steps will be the automatic, but the like specification is only same, that is it will only use to create the images along with the container images. So we can do two things with that. We can build the AMI images, that is the Amazon machine image, plus the container images. In this video we will see how to create the images because we already seen the manual process. So as part of the like this process, it will build the images, it will test those images, it will distribute means like it can copy to the another regions if we want, and it will create the image. And once the image get created, then our process is done. If we want to test that image, we can do the test, but this will also test as part of the pipeline. Even if we want to test manually, we can like spin up the EC2 instance using that image. So we will see like this process. This is basically kind of a pipeline. Okay. So EC2, if you see the managed service to automate, build and deploy OS images, if you click on the EC2 image builder, you could see it's an image pipeline and automation of building major machine images or Docker images. So we can do two things. One is the machine like AMI images and the Docker images. In this video, we will see how to create the AMI using the EC2 image builder. Okay, so we have the no pipeline is there. So basically this process is called as a pipeline. So we have to create the pipeline. In the pipeline we will define all the steps, because in manually we are also defining the steps. We are defining, okay, when we spin up the EC2 instance, we tell which base image we want to use, which CPU we want to use. And when we install some softwares, we tell, okay, which softwares we want to use, we install software. So all these things like, and when we copy the image to the another region, we tell, okay, we click on the image and copy to the another region. So all these like you can say recipe we will define here only. So create a image pipeline and give the pipeline name my first pipeline. Okay, and scroll down. So here, like in the manual process, you can do trigger only manually. But in the EC2 builder, they have provided multiple options. You can schedule your pipeline. So you can schedule, okay, the pipeline should run like every week or every month or every year, like it depends. And the cron expression as well. So if you want to using the cron expression, you can use that along with the manually. So as part of this, we will trigger the pipeline manually. Give some tags if we want to do, but just make an habit to give the tags. Okay, so give next. Now we have to choose the recipe. So recipe is basically what all components we want to install on the top of the base image. All right, so it's called a recipe. So we don't have any existing recipe, so we will create a new recipe. Okay, as I told you, EC2 Image Builder used to build two things. One is the AMI, one is the Docker image. So right now what we are doing, so output type is what? It could be AMI images. Okay, fine. Now the recipe will be started. So give some recipe name. My first recipe. Give the version as well. Okay. So in the recipe, what we have to do, we have to, like, whenever we do manually. So how to do manually? You create the EC2 instance, right? Some base image. So first we have to select the base image. So here we will select the base image as Amazon Linux EC2, right? And then its type. So it's type x86, but there are multiple types. Why we are not using the other types? Why we are selecting this type? The reason is when we do manually, you spin up the EC2 instance because we are using the free tier only, and as part of the free tier, we use T2.micro, and T2.micro support only x86 architecture. And here, because this is automatic, but it is automatic at the back end, it will spin up the virtual machine. If you like, if it will spin up the virtual machine, so we have to take care. It should not, it should spin up the virtual machine of T2.micro instances of our type. Otherwise it took the default settings, and if it took the default setting, then we have to pay, because those things not covered under the free tier. So we have to take care of multiple things. So because in next like slides we will use T2.micro, and T2.micro supports x86 architecture. That's why we are using x86. Okay, scroll down. Now we have to tell, okay, which components you want to install, basically which software. So we will install few softwares on our top of the image. One is the Amazon Corretto. So Corretto is basically whenever if you need Java, so they have provided this Amazon Corretto 11 headers. So you can select that. Along with that, you can select AWS CLI. So AWS CLI version 2. By default, when you spin up the virtual machine, it has automatically version 1 installed. So AWS CLI has two versions, version 1 and version 2. The latest is a version 2. So by default, it is version 1, but we want version 2 on it, and we will also verify that. Okay, so two things are installed. We can like even arrange it first thing like which we want to install, but that's not a thing. Now the test option we want to verify, just leave all these things as is. Okay, and go to next. Now here we have to define the infrastructure. Right now we have defined only recipe. Recipe means which AMI image we want, which softwares we want to install, but we have not defined the infrastructure. Infrastructure means which CPU we want, right? How the pipeline will know like which CPU it wants. Otherwise, if we use the default infrastructure, we have the option to use the default infrastructure. If we use the default infrastructure, what it will do is it will spin up the virtual machine with maybe high CPU, and we have to pay the charges. Right. So that's why we will create our new infrastructure configuration. But we have to create the new infrastructure configuration. So if we have to create, if you click on the new infrastructure configuration, we have to give the name. Okay, my first infra. That's okay. Here they have mentioned you have to select the IAM role, because now is earlier what we did is all these things we are doing. So we as a IAM user, so I am logged in as a IAM user, this IAM user, and I give as the administrative access. So this user has all the access. But now what we want the pipeline as the automatic, right? So the EC2 will automatically will do. So we have to give permission to the EC2. So we have to create some role, that the EC2 role. So if you re-click on the create infrastructure configuration option, so they told we need these policies, basically these permission, these two, three permission. One is the image builder, one is the image builder for the container build. So container build is like in this because we are using only AMI, so we don't need even this, but still we will select this along with the SSM. SSM is also like required for that. Okay, so these three uh, permissions are required. So what we will do, so we have to create the new infrastructure, and we have to select the new role. So open into the new tab, new role, and I have to copy all these things because I have to like create a new role. So let me copy the permissions. So go to the IAM and go to the roles and refresh it. So it's the one role already exists. So let me delete it. Okay, so let's create a role, and it's the EC2 role. Okay, EC2 role means we want EC2 to perform particular like operations. Okay, next. So what permission we want? So we want this permission, image builder. What we want, EC2 should create the images automatically. Okay, select. So we have to select both the things because one is the container and one is the image builder, and one is the Amazon SSM. Okay, select this policy as well and go to next. Give the role name. So maybe my EC2 builder role, anything like you can give. And yeah, we have selected the three roles, three permissions, and create a role. So role will be created. So role has been created, right? So go back to this, and we have to create the new infrastructure. Under the infrastructure, give the name my first infra. Okay, and here we have to choose role. Now we in the drop down we are able to see the roles. Just select the roles. Okay, and now we have to choose the instance type. So we have to use the t2.micro, and if you select t2.micro, we have to select the t2.micro only. Otherwise, like if we go with the default option, and that's why like we have to create the new infrastructure. If we go with the default option, it will maybe, I'm not sure like which CPU it will use, but definitely it should not use the t2.micro. And if you use, if it spin up the services, then we have to pay. So that's why we are creating our own infrastructure. So basically whatever did we think here manually, we have to set up the things only once as part of the pipeline. Okay, t2.micro has been set. That's good. Go to the next. We have to create the distribution setting. Distribution setting is like whenever the image get created, we have to like we may want to distribute to another regions, right? By just clicking on the image and copy to the another regions. So here as well, they have mentioned, okay, whether you want to distribute. So the default is EU West 2 only because I am running on the London, and London is the EU West 2. Okay, but if you want to create a new distribution setting, so just click on the new distribution setting, and like give multiple regions, here. Just right now it is only region 1, EU West 2. So click on the one more region. I want AF South 1 or EU West 2, EU West 3, any region we want. But for the time being, just we don't want to copy to the another regions, so go with the default settings. Okay, so go to the next. Okay, so all these things are ready for us. Now click on the create pipeline. So it will create the pipeline for us. So pipeline has been created. So if you go to the images pipeline, okay, let me close this. You can see like the pipeline has been created, and under the pipeline you can see like our recipe, my first recipe. Okay, let me scroll down. So my first recipe, and even you can like see here like my first recipe name, like the recipe means what all components I want to install as part of the pipeline. So if you scroll down, you could see like Java and the AWS CLI, right? But we when we created the image, we like when we created the pipeline, we select, okay, we want to we don't want to schedule it, we don't want to cron it, we want to take it manually. So click on the my first pipeline, go to the actions and run pipeline. So it has been initiated successfully. So the pipeline will be initiated successfully. So go to the recipes. So click on the recipe, click on the my first recipe. Okay, so where is that folder? Okay, images, my first recipe. Yeah, so right now it is in the pending state. So uh 1 minute. EC2 Image Builder. So we see, okay, the pipeline has already been triggered, right? So it should create the images. So we have clicked on the images, right? And we have clicked on this version 1 because we select the version 1. So first stage is building. So it is building the thing. So as part of the building, if you go to the EC2 and go to the instances, so automatically it spin up like one instance, build instance for my first recipe. Because if we have to create the image, we have to launch the EC2 instance. So it has pinned up the EC2 instance with the t2.micro, because in our recipe, in our infra recipe, we have defined t2.micro. That's why we have selected the x86 architecture. That's why we go with the option to create the infrastructure manually. Otherwise, it will spin up the like instance maybe with the with high setting through which we have to pay. If you go to the tags, you could see like created by the EC2 Image Builder. So this instance I have not created. This instance is created by the EC2 Image Builder services. Okay, okay. Go to let's see a few more options. 1 minute. What is happening? Okay, scroll down. So you could see this is the IAM role attached. This with the image ID. Okay, and a lot of things like you can see here. So right now, like this build step is running. So after the build step, test step will be running. So once, so how we are doing manually. So in as part of the manually, we spin up the EC2 instance. We installed few softwares. So right now, what it is doing, it is spinning up the instance. It will installing some components. So right now, it is doing the building stage only. If you even do refresh, the stage is still building. So still building means it is spin up the instance. It is installing some software, that is the Java software, AWS CLI version 2 software, or whatever the things it want to do, like it is doing at the back end. After that, as part of the manual thing, what we do is we stop the EC2 instance. So here we will not stop the EC2 instance. As part of the pipeline, once the build will finish, right, this instance will automatically get stopped. Earlier, as part of the manual, we have to stop the EC2 instance, but as part of automatic pipeline, EC2 Image Builder pipeline, this instance will automatically get stopped. And after the build, testing stage will be done. And as part of the testing stage, one more EC2 instance will be spinned up. This will first get terminated. One more EC2 instance will be get spinned up. And once the testing will be like finished, that another EC2 instance also get terminated, and it will distribute to the across the regions which we have selected as part of the pipeline. And once the distribution process get completed, our image will be available, and we can see our image under the AMI. Right now we don't have any image under the AMI because it is under the building stage only. So our AMI will be available only after the distribution. Like first it will build the image, then it will test the image, then it distribute the image, then the AMI will be available. So these whole process may take 10 to 15 minutes because build itself take 10 minutes. Testing may also take 5 minutes, distributing also take maybe 3 to 4 minutes, right? So we have to wait for a few minutes. So it is building. So for the time being, what we will do, let me pause the video, and once the build will be, so right now we have only 1 minute. Let me go to the instances. So right now we have only one EC2 instance, so it will automatically get terminated as soon as the it move to the testing stage, and one more EC2 instance automatically get triggered here for the testing. Okay, so uh, we will see after a few minutes. So now you could see still it is like a building stage, but I think building stage is like going to finish because the instance is getting stopped, and after stopped it will like getting terminated, and once it get terminated, our testing stage will get start. So let's see. So the instance gets stopped, and still it's building stage, but very soon the testing stage will also get started. So now you can see like a building stage has been completed, and the build instance has been terminated, and after that the test instance automatically gets spin up. So and the status also changed to the testing. So as I told you, whatever we did manually, so as part of the manually we spin up the EC2 instance, so it spin up the EC2 instance. After that we like installed some software, so at the back end it also installed the software because we defined in the pipeline. Then we stopped the EC2 instance, then it stopped the EC2 instance. Then we like create the image, so it also created the image. So I don't think that right now it is, yeah, so it also created the image. All right, so then we create the image, then we have test the image. So it has like doing the testing uh, at their end only. So for the testing they have spin up the instances, the test instances. Okay, so and after the test we have distribute the image. So after the test and distribute means like let's suppose the image is created in region 1, but we want the uh, uh, EC2 getting spin up in region 2, and the image is not available there. So what we will do, first we copy that image there, and then we will spin up the EC2 instance from that particular image. So distribution will do manually. So whatever the steps we are doing manually, we have here it will do automatically. Sorry. So this is started. Now testing stage is running, so it will test. It will also take like few minutes, and after the testing, you will see the status will change to the distribution. So let's wait for a few minutes. Now testing has also been completed. So now it is stopping the instance. After the stopping, it will terminate the instance as well. So here right now it is still testing because the distribution is not started, because as part of the testing only it is like clean up the things. Clean up means it is stopping the testing instance, then it will terminate the testing instance. So once this get terminated, we will see here like after the testing we will see the distribution state. But as part of the distribution, like we are not copying to the another regions, because in the distribution strategy only we have not defined any region. We just mentioned okay we need the image only in one region. So building and testing is taking time, maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes. The distribution will hopefully complete in 1 or 2 minutes. Let's see. So it's got terminated. Yeah, now it's got terminated. So if we refresh it, so it is still testing. So after maybe it will take some time to get to change to the distribution state. So let's keep refreshing. It will definitely change to the distribution. The both the instance get terminated. After that, distribution stage will be start. So now you can see the distributing stage has been started. It is distributing. So as part of the distribution, we have mentioned, okay, it should like distribute only to the once the distributing stage get finished, the AMI status will be changed to the available. That means image is now available to use. So once the image is available to use, then we will spin up our EC2 instance and we will verify whether the AWS CLI version which we have installed, that is the version 2, it is it there or not, whether the Java version is there or not which we have installed. So it is distributing the image. So as part of the distributing, it will not spin up any EC2 instance because distributing is just a copy process. Even like when we did the manually for the EC2 instance for building the image, we spin up the EC2 instance. Though we have not tested it here, but as part of the pipeline, it is testing the image. But when we copy distribute the image, we have not spin up the EC2 instance. We will just click on and right click and then create a copy and then copy the image. Okay, so let's keep waiting. Now it is integrating. So after that distributing, it is integrating. I'm not sure what is integrating, but the image will be available very soon. Integrating with downloading, it looks the downloading symbol only. Yeah, now the image is available to use. So if you go here and go to the AMI, so the image is available here, the my first recipe image. So go to the EC2 instances, instances, and launch our EC2 instance. So instead of their image, we will use our own image. So we have own image we just created. That is the my first recipe image. So select it and t2.micro and leave everything as is. So leave everything as is and launch it. Let's connect without key pair, though it is not a good habit, but we have to just test. So one EC2 instance has been spin up. We have spin up the EC2 instance from the image which is created by the EC2 image builder as part of the pipeline. So let's give it some name, any name, dummy. EC EC2. Okay, save and okay, now it is running. So click on it and connect. So change the EC2, change the root to the EC2 user. Any user we can give. Okay, so now check the AWS version. So here you could see AWS CLI version is 2.4, which is correct only. And if you see Java version is also Corato. So if you remember when we created the recipe, so let me show you as well. So if you go to the image recipe, within the image recipe, what we mentioned Amazon Corato and AWS CLI version 2. And we have cross verify that our image is correct. And whatever the components we want on our image, both the component get installed and we are using that image. Otherwise, if we use the base image, we have to install the AWS CLI version 2, we have to use the Corato image. Then, but now we have created our image, so we are using that image. So this is one of the like very useful tool, the EC2 Image Builder tool. Yeah, so that's it. So and once like we have verify, so make sure like you stopped the instance and click on it and stop the instance And once the instance gets stopped, and make sure you terminate it. So it is stopping. After stopping, you should terminate the instance. So yeah, that's the end of the video. Thank you.